Hey guys, it's me. Happy Tuesday. Yesterday you reviewed sound devices for poetry. A device is something that is there and it's in place to take words and elevate them so that you can almost have an experience. You know, you can hear them and see them. So it's the whole perspective. So today is you reviewed those sound devices yesterday, and then today you were going to apply them to a poem called There But for the Grace. Okay. So today, attendance journal, make sure you read for your 10 minutes. And then I'm going to show you actually the poem because it has some directives on there to let you know what we're doing. So today you're going to identify and analyze devices in poetry. You're going to apply those devices to this poem also, as well as metaphors and repetition. How did you do yesterday on your matching? So let's look and see. I know my kiddos here at school kind of had a hard time with a couple of these, but for the most part, they did pretty well. So this is what you should have done yesterday. The only one that you may have had a really hard time with is tone. I don't really think this one was very like tone-like. For me, if I want to identify tone, I usually use dialogue because I can like hear people talking and I'm like, oh, they better watch their tone. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so this was yesterday. This again was yesterday, but I'm giving it to you again because in the poem, they're asking you to identify these and choose this or that with the poem you're going to read today. So you need to have this and go back over it. Okay. So alliteration, you know, it's like Sally sells seashells by the seashore, easy repetition. Assonance is within. See, I have all these vowels within. Said, forehead, open. And then consonance is just the repetition on the very back part of the word. So later, neater, further. Okay. Okay, so again today, there's going to be before questions about a close call. You're going to read the poem once through, and then you're going to annotate and answer those questions. Okay, so let me get out of that. Looks like this. So this is Wisława. She is a Polish writer. She survived World War II, and she's also a Nobel Peace Prize writer, just like Elie Wiesel. Okay, so here we go in the red. Think of a close call that you had in your life. What is something that you're like, whoa, something almost really crazy happened? And that's kind of what I want to know about. Like, what is something that really happened that was close? How you felt during the close call, how you felt. So, like, what was the close call, how you felt during the close call, and then after. Okay, so, and then just keep that close call kind of in mind as you go over the poem. So, you're going to read the poem once through. And then here are the questions. After questions, identify the following in the poem, the mood and the tone. Okay, this is why I'm going over this with you. I know you're big boys and big girls, but I need to remind you. Mood is me. Mood is me. I am the one that decides the mood of a piece of a poem of a song. Me. It's because what I decide I want to get out of it. We talked in the beginning of the year about Willy Wonka. He makes all this chocolate and candy because he loves it, but he puts it out in the world. And just because he puts it out in the world doesn't mean I'm gonna love it, right? So it's what I decide to do with it. The tone is what is the author and the poet putting out there. Okay, think about that. Sometimes the tone is sarcastic and gross and rude, and you think it's hilarious. You know what I mean? So it's just a give and a take. So tell me about that. Just talk it through to yourself. Don't be too critical on yourselves, guys, and don't overthink this. Just do what you can. Okay. Which sound device is used, alliteration or consonants? So again, you're going to go through alliteration. You're going to say, oh, I know alliteration is the repetition of the sounds at the beginning of the word. I know that assonance is going to be in the middle of the word, and I have to look and see specifically on lines 2 through 3. Okay. Same thing through 6 through 11, consonants, assonants. Oh, this one's repetition. How does it affect mood? Remember we talked about in school that like when, you know, repetition has power. And so when you say something over and over, you do something, right? You like kind of like pump yourself up with that repetition. It's the same thing with words. Okay. Just same thing with a poem. Number 4 says which sound device, alliteration or consonants. Consonants again is at the very, very, very end of the word. So if it's not at the end of the word and it's not repeating, it's not consonants. So easy. I know. I should be a teacher, right? Just help all the children in the world. Highlight the metaphor that relates to survival in lines 21 through 25. What does this metaphor mean, and what ideas does this use of figurative language emphasize? Okay, that's it. I will read the poem for you very quickly. I'm in the library. I'm trying to hide in the corner, so I'll try not to be too loud or too soft. Okay. Okay, here we go. It could have happened. It had to happen. It happened sooner, later, nearer, further. It happened not to you. You survived because you were the first. You survived because you were the last. Because you were alone, because of people, because you turned left, because you turned right, because rain fell, because a shadow fell, because sunny weather prevailed. Luckily, there was a wood. Luckily, there were no trees. Luckily, there was a rail, a hook, a beam, a break, a frame, a bend, a millimeter, a second. Luckily, a straw was floating on the surface. Thanks to, because, and yet in spite of, what would have happened, and not a hand, a foot, by a step, a hair's breadth. By sheer coincidence. So you're there, straight from a moment still ajar. The net had one eye hole, and you got through it. There's no end to my wonder, my silence. Listen how fast your heart beats in me. Kind of love it. You guys have a perfect Tuesday. I'll see you again tomorrow. We have a new poem tomorrow. It's called Days. Bye.